That's good to be with you on the Monday of Christmas week. Can you believe it? We're finally here, and this is a blessed week, and I trust that God will just do a wonderful work in your hearts. I'd like to go to a passage that is not necessarily a Christmas passage, but is one that refers to some of the people of Christmas, and it has a tremendous message for us as we are in these days in which we've got to see God intervene on our behalf. After the disciples, John and Peter, had met with the Sanhedrin, had been threatened, they come back, and the church is praying together, not asking for deliverance, but asking for boldness to keep witnessing. We read in this passage in verse 14, "And when they heard that, they lifted up their voice to God with one accord and said, Lord, thou art God, which hath made heaven and earth and the sea and all that in them is," and goes on to speak of Psalm 2. And then in verse 27, "For of a truth against thy holy child Jesus, whom thou hast anointed, both Herod and Pontius Pilate with the Gentiles and the people of Israel were gathered together for to do whatsoever thy hand and thy counsel determined." Here we have what occurred when these leaders of the Roman part of the empire there in Judea had gotten together, and Herod, who was connected by family to Herod the Great of Christmas, they all conspired against Christ, put him on the cross, but God won the victory. And it goes all the way back to Caesar Augustus, God using him to get the couple to Bethlehem. Herod the Great trying to destroy all of those that might be this new king of the Jews, causing the Lord to be taken by his parents down to Egypt. And all of the Old Testament was fulfilled. And so these that Satan inspired, both at the birth of Christ and then at his crucifixion, conspired to destroy Jesus, God instead used them as an instrument to accomplish his purpose. Now, the reason I've gone through all that is this week, don't get discouraged by what you're hearing. God is taking what may seem right now like governmental mandates or situations in politics or whatever to go against things that are important to you. But I want to promise you, the same God that used Herod the Great, that used Caesar, the same one that that tried to or did put him on the cross, Herod and the grandson, and then the Pontius Pilate, the governor, all of their wicked devices were overcome, and God's great purposes were accomplished. He did it back then. He's going to do it today. And may God help us to not be overwhelmed. Enjoy Christmas. Realize the same God that brought the joy then is bringing the joy now, and that this is the opportunity for us to believe God, to know that he's in control, and he's going to do great things in these days ahead if we'll trust him.